Hello again everybody, it's Chris from One Man and His Quad, and today I'm just a little bit worried because I've been told we're going to be doing something with rubber. So welcome back everybody to One Man and His Quad, and I did say we're going to be doing something today with rubber. Yes, this has arrived from LR Challenge 4x4. They're a company based in Lincolnshire. Their website is lrchallenge4x4.co.uk. It can be seen on there, it can be seen right now on the bottom of the screen also, and this is going to form the basis to form fender flares on all four corners of the quad. Now, you can buy fender flares for Polaris Sportsman here in the UK. There's a One Man and His Quad dogs, all three of them. Hello, you three. You can tell which one's mine. It's the lazy one sat behind the two black ones. But as I was saying, you can buy fender flares in the UK. They are quite pricey, however. They do fit these particular models of Polaris Sportsman. You can get them for Hondas and Yamahas, or basically every sort of quad, every sort of fan quad at least, in the UK. And as well as adding a little bit of a look to the bike, it's there for practicality. Two main reasons, of course. Flares will stop mud and debris getting onto you, especially if you're going out on wet and muddy rides, which, being a June day in the UK, as I was saying, I don't know whether you can quite pick up on the camera there. It might just be a load of light, but believe me, it's blowing a gale and it's wet out there, and I can't quite believe we're practically now in the middle of June. The other thing is, if you wanted to put bigger tyres on this vehicle in the future, UK laws state that your tyres cannot protrude past your wheel arches. Personally, I think Polaris at the moment, I don't know whether that can be quite picked up on the shot, with the snorkel in the way. It's borderline at the moment, even with those standard back tyres on. If I wanted to put 1.5 inch wider tyres on in the future, which is an option, it's something I'm not going to do until these tyres get to the end of their life, I will have that option with these fender flares. The other thing is, it's no drilling. So we're going to be using these, as you can see on the reverse side, there's some of the 3M double-sided, I call it number plate tape, but it's for a variety of uses. It's mega strong stuff, being 3M, and you can pick it up in the future if you need to sort of stick them back on again. They will be going across the top of the plastic dip for now. The intention is, when I do change the colour of the bike in the future again, I will take the flares off. I'll obviously remove the plastic dip underneath, and before I re-dip the bike, I will be putting the flares back on, and they'll be there permanently, so we don't have to keep removing them and retaping them every time we come to change the colour of the bike. So what we're going to do first, and one of the most important things if you're going to stick anything on a bike, whether that's flares, whether that's graphics like this, whatever it is you need a clean and dry surface. We washed the bike yesterday, 24 hours ago. It's now fully dry. I'm going to give it another wipe down with a cloth because I have just brought it from the shed into the stables here, and it is raining. And then I'm going to use some isopropyl alcohol solution, which you can pick up from any good pharmacy. You can also pick it up on eBay or any sign supplier as well for the vinyl signs. If you've got one of those locally, they should be able to stock that. And just give it a really good clean, making sure there is no surface residue from the shampoo we used. Maybe there's some overspray for the plastic shine that we used on the top there yesterday. You don't want any of that on. You don't want any contaminants on. Whatever you're sticking on, it's really important to make sure your surface is super clean. So we're going to do that quickly now for this front near side wheel arch, and then we're going to show you what we're going to do in terms of cutting the material. So quite simply, all I'm going to use is an old rag and just get rid of any moisture that may be on the surface. I'm concentrating between here and here and here and here. The flares aren't going to go between the two snorkels there. And once I feel it's dry enough, I'm going to take some disposable kitchen towel Get a few pieces of that, break a piece off. This is going to be your wet piece. Here I've got some alcohol-based surface cleaner. As long as it's alcohol-based, it's going to do the job. You only need a little bit. I have done a test patch in the past on this as well, on Plasti Dip and Full Dip, and I know it works okay. We're just going to wipe that surface down very quickly. If you feel there's not enough on there, always stick a bit more on. And always go slightly higher than you expect to go. Take a fresh rag or a fresh cloth and then dry that off. And always check your dry cloth when you're cleaning it off, because that's where you'll see the evidence of any dirt. That is looking pretty clean, so we know that surface is clean. So in the Kit from LR Challenge, you get 2.5 meters times 25 mil, so 2.5 centimeters thick of the rubber with the 3M tape already applied. You also get some self-tapping screws here. They're countersunk, crosshead, to give you that extra security if you wanted to drill through your bodywork. This particular product is designed for all vehicles. It's not just exclusively for quad bikes. It's for all the types of 4x4s as well. You can also get some thicker, I think it's 65 mil in width, and it comes in 3 meter lengths, designed for your bigger 4-wheel drives, such as your Defenders, your Discoveries, and your Jeeps. But that is what I wanted. It was a minimal sort of size, and also the outlay on that in cost terms fitted my budget. So I've gone for that. We're going to have to chop this down, and we're going to have to chop this down into obviously 4 pieces for the wheel arches themselves, and again divide a piece into 2 separate pieces for this one. Now, I've done my measurements, and I can see that I'm going to need 3 times 68 centimetre length and 1 times 46. The 46 centimetre one is going to be split into 2 lengths. I think that's 27 and 21 centimetres respectively for these 2 parts here. I will double check that before chopping. And all you need to chop this is a good Stanley knife with a decent blade on it. Make sure you change the blade so it's a nice clean cut. So we're going to chop the pieces down now on our workbench, and we're going to come back and show you how to apply them. So that's all the cuts done. That's one of the 68 centimetre pieces that I've cut. It's easier to cut it this side, not the reverse side with the sticky stuff on, because you can see it bends down. It's just generally easier to cut it that way than trying to go up and over. It's easier to go down. What I tended to do is score and then make a big incision cut and then a last sort of trimming cut, and that's the easiest way to do it. The best thing to do is is a good Stanley knife, something like that, something heavy duty with a good blade. Make sure it's super sharp as well, because then you get the nice finish on the ends as so. And do it on a workbench, don't do it on your best table for obvious reasons. They're all cut out now. We're going to do the front near side as we promised before, so I'll go back to the other camera in a click of a finger. So we're back on the other camera now. We've got the 2 pieces for this particular area. Of course, if you don't have the snorkel set up on your particular quad bike, you're going to need more material. And having cut it out, there is just 2.5 metres, so 250 centimetres worth of the rubber. So be extra careful, measure twice, cut once, as they say in this, because there is no excess, especially if you're tight on measurements like me. And make sure you get these the right way round, because as you can see, they're both slightly different lengths. All you need to do is take off the red 3M backing and apply it. So I'm going to do that now. It's really, really simple. We're going to do all 4 corners. We'll probably speed it up, and I'll come back to you with the end result. there's the first wheel arch on, and as you can see, it's not looking too bad. Now remember, this is very generic material. It's not meant to have that factory look to it. It's meant to be more practical rather than anything. I may taper this edge here. And what you've got to be aware of is, again, you know, if there's any dirt, even though it's 3M tape and it's super sticky, so make sure you go and clean the surface thoroughly beforehand. It will come off if it's not clean, but because it's super sticky as well, especially if you're applying these onto a dipped surface, you're only going to get one shot. So try and line, this is better shot rather than the top one, try and line the 90-degree edge up to the edge of your wheel arch there. You can see that's a nice straight line. There's no orange in particular showing. And this is quite flexible as well, so when we come to do the rear wheel arches, which we're going to do next, we should be able to bend it around quite nicely. So when it comes to applying the back of these, what you need is a heat gun. This is flexible, but it's not going to get this, I would say that's about an 80-degree bend in that. And you're not going to be able to sort of manipulate it to stretch it in one. So two things you need to do. As I was saying before, just take enough off so you've got that first bit sorted. Again, look at it from the other side. Line it up if you can. And press it down. Now, because of the weight, it's not going to want to stay in place straight away. You've got all the remaining part. What you're trying to do is get the flat bit on the flat surface. When you get to this corner here, you're going to want to make a cut, even if it's not quite on properly. So what you're going to need to do, so like I said before, place it on the bike, like so. Now this is going to want to fight you. And of course you've got the rest of it, but once you get this corner here, you want to make a cut to the centre line, and the centre line that runs all the way through this. You can see how that's bending around the corner a lot better. Also starting to grip there as well. So we've laid that on pretty straight, pretty flat. Press it down. It's still going to be wanting to pop up on this corner. Don't worry about the gap. I've got a tip of how to get rid of that. Now for that to stay in place, because it's rubber and because it's got quite a strong bonding agent on it as well in the 3M tape, you're going to need your heat gun. Lowest heat setting, and work methodically around the top area here. You see how it's just lifting there? this of heat, and it's going to take a little while to get it through, but believe me, eventually it will go through. Don't really want to try and change the shape of this too much. Anywhere where it's lifting. And remember, it's black, it absorbs heat a lot quicker than it would on a whiter or a lighter surface, so just bear that in mind. You don't want to be toasting this in an inch of its life. But what you're trying to do along here is speed up the bonding process and change the shape. So basically you're telling the rubber, this is your new shape. I'm probably just going to go slightly in front of the camera there, but this back bit, I don't know whether you can pick this up on camera, just still wanting to come off. And by heating it as well, not only do you change the shape of the rubber, but you're heating up the free M tape underneath. So yeah, you need quite a bit of heat, but don't go over the top like you keep saying. And you're seeing now, that's starting to tap real. Now, there is a gap here, I don't know whether again that can be picked up on camera, but we can get rid of that. Get some silicone, some black silicone, we can fill that in. That's all pretty much stuck on now, so we're going to move round to the front and do exactly the same method on the front. So there you go, it's taken a little bit of a manipulation and a little still a little bit coming up there at the bottom, but we'll fix that. I'm just going to go around now and fill these gaps up with silicone. Before I do that, I'm just going to give each bit a little bit more heat, just to make sure it's fully down in the order I've done them. So we'll fill the gaps up with silicone. And there it is, it's done. So there we go, job done. We've siliconed the gaps that we cut in order to get the bends. It's all sitting pretty well. Bit messy on the old silicone, but we can cut that off when it's dry. It's a lot easier to work with silicone. If you've used it in the past, you'll know when it's dry rather than when it's all sticky and wet all over your fingers. Horrible stuff. Anyway, I hope you've learned something from this video. We certainly have. If you are going to buy these rubber kits from LR Challenge, they're pretty damn decent, to be fair. What I suggest to LR Challenge, if you just happen to be watching this video, stick some instructions in, some guides on how to fit them, because there's a bit of trial and error and sort of working out the properties of the product, knowing that rubber bends and glue melts under heat. So you're going to need 3 basic tools for this. You're obviously going to need a knife to cut it with. You're going to need a heat gun in order to make the bend and make it all secure and heat the glue up to be enough to make it adhere. And once you've made the cuts, and if you want to neaten it up, and it's entirely up to you, you're going to need some silicone. So those are the only 3 tools you need. You've probably got those already in your shed.
We'll see how they get on. I think they're pretty sturdy. I think it's one of those things over time, as the glue sort of dries out, it's going to become even more stronger. And I'll try and let you know as well how we get on when it comes to changing the colour of the bike in the future and taking these off and reapplying them if we choose to do it that way. That is it. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget, you can like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram to see all the pictures and all the images, tease images of what we're doing today are going to go up on there as I finish this video. We also, you know this already because you're watching us on there, a YouTube channel. For all three, search One Man and His Quad in the search bar, and make sure if you want to see the latest editions on the videos, make sure you hit that bell to get notifications for all the videos that we're going to be bringing out on YouTube. As I say, in theory, one every Friday, although we might have a little bit of a break over the next few weeks until we decide what the next project is going to be. Oh boy, I have got some great ideas in terms of what I want to do personally with the bike, but it might be something that's going to happen a little bit later on into the autumn, into the winter time, before I start doing that, because it is one of those projects where you kind of want to do it inside, indoors, and just spend a bit of time on it. It's a possible project, it's an idea I've had anyway, and hopefully I'll give you a little bit more detail on that in the future. In the meantime, till we talk again, stay safe guys, and again, hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you real soon.